All right, let's settle one of humanity's most timeless debates. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? It sounds like a silly question, right? But it's been haunting human minds for over 2,000 years. Philosophers, scientists, and religious leaders have wrestled with this mystery. On the surface, it's just a farmyard riddle, but beneath it lies some of the deepest questions about existence itself, cause and effect, beginnings and endings, life and creation. Today, we're diving deep. Ancient philosophy, world religions, evolutionary science, modern genetics. By the end of this video, you'll finally have your answer. Or maybe you'll realize the question is bigger than chickens and eggs. The first people to seriously wrestle with this puzzle weren't scientists, they were philosophers. Let's go back to ancient Greece. Around 384 BC, Aristotle, one of the greatest thinkers of all time, asked the chicken and egg question as a way of exploring causality. Which comes first, the creature or the seed that makes the creature? For Aristotle, it wasn't about breakfast food, it was about the eternal cycle of life. He thought nature didn't really have a true beginning, it was an endless loop. Chickens laid eggs, eggs made chickens, and the cycle just kept going. Meanwhile, in ancient China, philosophers had their own version of the question. They saw life as a series of interconnected cycles, yin and yang, night and day, birth and death. For them, asking which came first was like asking, what's more important, the inhale or the exhale? The point wasn't to find an answer, it was to realize both are inseparable, and that's the first key insight. This question isn't just about animals, it's about how humans try to understand beginnings. Alright, now let's leave philosophy behind and dive into the world of myths, gods, and cosmic mysteries. Because long before scientists cracked DNA, humans told stories to explain life itself. Take Hindu mythology, for example. Creation didn't start with a spark, it started with a cosmic egg. Everything you see, the stars, the planets, even the gods themselves, hatched from it. Imagine the entire universe as one glowing, mysterious egg floating in the void. Over in ancient Egypt, the story gets even wilder. The sun god Ra was said to have been born from a cosmic egg that floated on the chaotic waters of creation. An egg, giving birth to a god. Suddenly, your breakfast seems a little less impressive. And then there's Christianity, which took a different path. The Bible says God created animals first, each after its kind. That means chickens came before eggs. Eggs were just the clever way life kept multiplying. See what's happening here? Myths and religions often side with the chicken because creation begins with a living being. Yet at the same time, the egg gets elevated as a symbol of the cosmos itself, the origin of everything. So whether you were an Egyptian priest, a Hindu sage, or a Christian theologian, the chicken and egg debate wasn't just about farm animals. It was about the beginning of life, and maybe even the universe itself. Now let's fast forward to the 19th century, where science finally crashes the party. Enter Charles Darwin, the man who made us rethink life itself. His theory of evolution turned the chicken and egg debate on its head. Here's the deal. Species don't just appear out of thin air, they change slowly over millions of years. Tiny mutations pile up generation after generation until suddenly something brand new emerges. So where does that leave our feathered friends? Somewhere in prehistory, a bird that was almost a chicken, think dino-bird hybrid, laid an egg. Inside that egg, a tiny genetic twist happened, and boom, the very first true chicken emerged. That's right, the egg came first. But it wasn't exactly a chicken egg. It was laid by something chickenish, but not quite the real deal. Picture it like a massive family tree. Every generation laid eggs, each one slightly different, each one inching closer to the modern chicken we know today. And then, one egg tipped the scales. The first true chicken hatched. So if we're talking evolution, the egg takes the crown. Sorry, chicken fans, it had to start somewhere. And that somewhere was an egg. But hold on, because modern science just dropped a massive plot twist in this chicken and egg saga. Researchers digging into how eggshells form discovered something shocking. A special protein called ovocledidine 17. Sounds fancy, right? Well, here's the jaw dropper. This protein is only found in the ovaries of chickens. Translation, you literally can't make a proper chicken egg without a chicken first. So now the scoreboard gets messy. Evolution shouts, egg first, genetics fires back, chicken first, and suddenly it's a full-on scientific tug-of-war with both sides bringing receipts. But wait, the story twists again. Some biologists argue the question itself might be wrong. Why? Because evolution isn't a neat, straight line. It's messy, it's gradual. There was never a magical moment when a non-chicken went to bed and the next morning, bam, a perfect chicken strutted out of nowhere. Instead, the truth is way fuzzier. There were thousands, maybe millions, of almost chickens, laying almost chicken eggs, each one just a tiny step closer. And eventually, after countless generations, one egg carried the right DNA cocktail, and when it cracked open, the very first real chicken hatched into the world. So after all this, which came first, the chicken or the egg? If you ask the evolutionary biologist, the answer is the egg. If you ask the geneticist, the answer is the chicken. If you ask the philosopher, the answer is neither, because the question itself is flawed. And maybe that's the beauty of it. The chicken and egg paradox isn't really about finding one definitive answer. It's about understanding that life, creation, and existence itself might not have a neat beginning. So the next time someone asks you the question, you can smile and say, the chicken and the egg didn't come one after the other. They came together in a dance that's been going on since the dawn of time. And maybe that's the real answer.